The Wendigo. Gaunt, skeletal, and towering over the trees, the Wendigo is described as a monstrous figure, with skin stretched tight over its bones, sunken eyes glowing with a cold light, and lips torn away as if consumed by its own hunger. Its body is emaciated, its ribs protruding, and in some stories its size grows with every meal, ensuring its hunger can never be satisfied. The stench of decay follows it, and its voice is said to echo through the forest like the wailing wind. The Wendigo originates from the folklore of Algonquian-speaking peoples in the northern United States and Canada. According to legend, a person becomes a Wendigo when they resort to cannibalism, especially during the harsh winters when starvation threatens survival. This transformation curses them with eternal hunger for human flesh, stripping away their humanity until nothing remains but a predator consumed by greed and desperation. What makes the Wendigo more terrifying than its appearance is what it represents. It is the embodiment of unchecked hunger, of taking more than you need, of turning against your community in the pursuit of survival. Its legend warned that selfishness and gluttony could destroy not only the individual, but also those around them. Even if it devours endlessly, the Wendigo remains starved, trapped in an endless cycle of desire and deprivation. The Tikbalang. Towering above the trees with the head of a horse and the body of a man, the Tikbalang is one of the most unsettling figures in Filipino folklore. Its limbs are impossibly long and thin, its knees rising above its head when crouched, and its burning eyes shine through the jungle mist. Cloven hooves strike the ground with unnatural force, and its grin reveals sharp teeth more suited for a predator than a grazing animal. The Tikbalang is said to dwell in forests and mountains, preying not on flesh, but on the mind. Travelers who encounter it are thrown into confusion, tricked into walking in endless circles, no matter how well they know the path. Entire days can vanish in this torment, with victims growing weaker and more desperate until they collapse. The only way to break free is to perform a ritual act, such as turning your clothes inside out or quietly asking permission to pass. Some stories describe the Tikbalang as a cruel spirit that delights in leading humans to their doom, while others suggest it serves as a guardian of the wilderness, punishing only those who show disrespect to nature. But all accounts agree on its menacing presence. Jorogumo. In Japanese folklore, beauty can be deceiving, and no creature embodies this more than the Jorogumo. The name translates to binding bride or entangling spider. The legend describes a spider that can transform into a beautiful woman. At first glance, she appears as a graceful figure, luring men with charm and elegance, but behind the disguise lies a deadly predator waiting to strike. The story goes that when a spider lives long enough and grows large enough, it gains the power to shapeshift. Jorogumo takes advantage of this gift to lure unsuspecting men. She may appear by a waterfall, in a quiet village, or even wandering alone on a forest path. Her beauty and gentle demeanor disarm her victims, who never realize the danger until it is too late. Once close, she reveals her true form: massive spider legs, glistening fangs, and threads strong enough to bind even the strongest warrior. Victims are trapped in her silk, drained of life, and sometimes left suspended like flies in a web. In some tales, she keeps her victims alive just long enough for them to realize their fate, prolonging their suffering. The Jorogumo is also said to control other spiders, commanding swarms that overwhelm anyone who dares resist. The legend carries a warning about deception and desire. Beauty without caution can be fatal, and those who give in too quickly to temptation may find themselves ensnared in something they cannot escape. Baba Yaga. In the forests of Eastern Europe lives one of the most feared and fascinating figures in Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga. She is not a simple witch. She is a being of contradiction, both terrifying and mysterious, capable of granting wisdom or delivering death. What makes Baba Yaga unforgettable is the strangeness of her world. She lives in a hut that stands on giant chicken legs, turning to face or turn away from travelers who approach. A fence of human bones surrounds her home, each topped with a skull that glows at night like lanterns. Baba Yaga herself is described as an old crone, with iron teeth and a hunger for human flesh. She flies through the skies in a giant mortar, using the pestle as a rudder, and sweeps away her tracks with a broom made of silver birch. Travelers who encounter her never know if they will leave alive. Some tales describe her as a cannibal who devours children. Others portray her as a guardian of powerful knowledge, testing the courage and cleverness of those who seek her help. She often appears in fairy tales as a figure who sets impossible tasks. A hero might have to clean her house in a single night, separate grains of sand, or survive while she tries to cook them. Success may bring rewards, such as guidance or magical items. Failure almost always leads to death. What makes Baba Yaga especially frightening is her unpredictability. She is neither entirely evil nor good. Instead, she represents nature itself, wild, untamed, and indifferent to human life. The Chupacabra. Fangs, glowing eyes, and the thirst for blood. The Chupacabra is one of the most infamous modern monsters. First reported in Puerto Rico during the 1990s, it became notorious for slaughtering livestock with surgical precision. Farmers would wake to find goats and chickens drained of blood, their bodies left with only 2 puncture wounds. No tracks, no struggle, just clean, eerie kills. Descriptions vary, but the image is always unsettling. Some say it looks reptilian, with green-gray scales, a spiny ridge down its back, and claws sharp enough to tear through wire fencing. Others claim it resembles a twisted, hairless dog, mangy and skeletal, its glowing red eyes burning in the night. Whatever the form, it is unnatural, something that should not exist in the wilderness. The terror of the Chupacabra isn't just in its look, it's in how it feeds. Unlike wolves or coyotes that leave bloody, chaotic scenes, the Chupacabra strikes with precision, as though designed for vampirism. That strangeness is why many linked it to the supernatural, or even extraterrestrial origins. Skeptics argue that the Chupacabra is nothing more than diseased animals, but believers point to the pattern of attacks. Livestock drained completely, communities paralyzed with fear, and no predator ever caught. It spread far beyond Puerto Rico, with reports from Mexico, Chile, and the southern United States, making it one of the fastest growing legends of the last century. Krampus. Towering horns, cloven hooves, and chains that rattle through the snow. Krampus is Christmas twisted into something terrifying. In Alpine folklore, he is the dark counterpart to Saint Nicholas. Where the saint rewards good children with gifts, Krampus hunts down the bad, armed with birch rods for beatings and a sack for abductions. Descriptions paint him as part demon, part beast. His fur is black and matted, his tongue long and curling, his eyes glowing with malice. The clanging chains he drags are not just for show. They symbolize his role as a creature bound to punishment, unleashed during the holiday season to remind children that their actions carry weight. Unlike distant monsters of myth, Krampus is frightening because of his proximity to joy. He arrives when families gather, when fires are lit, when laughter fills the air. He doesn't haunt remote forests or shadowy ruins. He walks beside St. Nicholas, entering villages and homes in the heart of winter. The thought that terror could appear alongside celebration makes him especially unsettling. For centuries, Alpine communities reinforced the legend through parades, where men dressed as Krampus charged through the streets, chasing anyone unlucky enough to cross their path. Today, the tradition continues with the Krampuslauf, where the demon's image is brought vividly to life with fire, masks, and chaos.